And welcome back to another episode of the Convoluted podcast. It's your host, Jesus, aka Tyrant Dominus, and I'm here with Liz.
Hey.
And if it's your first time listening or watching, you can always follow or subscribe. It's free, and you can always unfollow or unsubscribe. Liz, you've been telling me you've had one of the longest weeks you've had in a while, and that's saying something from last year.
Yeah, I feel like January hasn't quite been nice to me at all. Yeah, this has been a very, very, very busy month. I have been trying to stay afloat, I feel like. Thankfully, it's coming to a head. January is almost to the end. By the time this releases, Monday will officially be over. I like the meme. It's one fat, giant Monday. Feels like it, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely starting to feel like it.
Okay, that's good. We all need a little respite here and there. Definitely need.
I'm not gonna do it. How are you doing? How's your week going?
Busy as always. Within this week, we just once again lost another person who quietly quit.
Oh, jeez.
They quietly quit.
Quietly.
They just never show up to their shifts. My brother said that he quit, but like, when you tell someone you're quitting, at least, you know, you put in your 2 weeks.
Actually, I've heard it's becoming a rage. Like, people are just quietly quitting their jobs.
There's term, yeah, it's a lot. I've been less active on TikTok recently as much, but usually when I get on there, there's people talking about quietly quitting or rage applying. Which makes sense if you're not, you know, if you're not comfortable, or if your job's not providing you what you need, that's fine. You know, like, do what you need to do for yourself. But the least they could have done was at least, you know, here's my 2 weeks. I'm done, or like say I'm quitting. Like, and they can quit the same day. Just tell us you're quitting, not just don't show up. And once again, it was like, fortunately, this individual was a really nice individual, like, chill person. I think that's one of the, like, I think I've mentioned multiple times, with the benefits that we've had with our coworkers in recent days, is that we just had really decent people, just not decent workers. That's what sucks. like you can be one of the best people, like, nicest people out there, but if you're not a good worker, it's like you're not gonna last long. Now you still gotta do your job. But yeah, that's kind of the biggest thing that's happened. I've just been keeping busy trying to do that. I'm about to start my vacation months, kind of. I'm just taking some long weekends, because usually this time of year our company is pretty slow. So I decided to take a couple extra long weekends just to make it comfortable. Mostly give hours to the rest of my team, because, you know, it's good for me. I get to rest a little longer, and the rest of the team gets to be able to eat food with how bad the economy is, you know.
I know, right?
Like, do you choose to eat food or have a house over your head? Or a roof over your head?
Roof over your head. I will say that one of our pharmacists is actually retiring in May.
Oh, wow.
And so he's one of our overnight pharmacists. So if anybody's looking for a job, you know where to apply.
There you go.
7 on, 7 off. They're going to leave. And he's taking a long sabbatical, too, because he has so much time accrued. He has to take from March to May. Comes back for 1 day, and then he's gone. Done.
So you get 3 months. Ooh.
But they work on 7 on, 7 off. So he's basically being paid every other week with what he's doing for a living.
Damn, nice. Don't we all wish we could do that?
I know, right?
So, all right then. Let's start with some stories here because yeah, it's been for us it's been a tumultuous week, but you know, there's been the world never stops churning. The world never stops churning, and Liz has a story because man, some of these stories don't stop getting wild.
Woman stole Walmart shoppers' horse and buggy while they were in Michigan store. The horse was unarmed and unharmed, and the family was later reunited with its buggy. A woman stole a family's horse, an Amish buggy, while they were stopping in a Michigan Walmart. Police said the family discovered the animal and their buggy was missing after they finished the shopping at the Sturgis store Saturday. Sturgis police said in a release on Facebook, a truck driver who was parked at the Walmart told police that a woman had stolen the buggy and gave officials a description of her. Police said they had contact with the woman earlier that day at the same Walmart location. Later that night, the police said they found the stolen horse and buggy and made contact with the 31-year-old woman at the nearby motel, where she was arrested without incident. She was booked at the St. Joseph County Jail on charges of larceny and larceny of livestock pending on arraignment, the police said. The horse was not harmed and the buggy was returned. Sturgis is just over 50 miles northeast of South Bend, Indiana.
Okay, I don't know why that was important, but anyway, yeah, that's just Grand Buggy. That is funny.
Grand Theft Buggy.
Grand Theft Buggy. Yeah, that's funny. It's one of those things where I'm not too surprised these days, but it's what's the word I want to say? Like, you just don't hear about it.
You're desperate, right?
Yeah. And I don't know what got into this person's mind to just steal, like, oh look, there's a buggy and a horse. Like, I'm gonna take it.
Oh, it's not chained up.
You know,
I'm surprised that person actually knew how to get the horse to go.
It's not that hard. Well,
yeah, but some horses are very, very particular of like who the owner is, like who touches them. Don't have that horse touching me. Like,
that's true.
I know who you are. You ain't you ain't my owner. That horse was like, I'm ready to go. Bye.
True. Yeah, but I think I don't know how often have you been around horses?
Well, in Southern California, I didn't go too up far from a horse stable. It was actually right around my same block. So
there you go. So you can understand it with the level of comfortability with some horses. Like, okay, and like I my uncle's farm where I usually interact with horses are entertaining horses. I think you've seen some. I think you've even been to one of those where they just do like the acts and stuff like that, where the horse dancing, where the horse dances and stuff like that.
No, actually, I've not.
No, I thought you have. Yeah, like they've taught the horses how to dance and stuff like that. All that jazz. Really fun.
I've seen videos. I guess I've never been to like an actual. Well, maybe. No.
Anyways,
it's been a hot minute.
With the things where like it's a lot to happen in our long lives, right?
Long short lives.
So, but yeah, it's one of those things like some horses are just accustomed to humans, and they're just like, okay, like this is happening. Oh, I'm going. But anyways, it's just wild how this one specific woman just like saw a horse and a buggy, like, I'm gonna take it. And
Grand Theft Buggy.
It's just that's what Grand Theft Auto 7 is going to be. It's going to be set in Colorado, Indiana. There it is.
Michigan. It's an Amish town.
Oh god. So that's wild. Not too. Hopefully, I'm glad that at least the horse was not harmed, and and they recovered
Buggy
the
was in one piece, not destroyed.
So yeah, let's stick with Walmart then. Let's stick with another Walmart story here.
All right. What you got?
So Walmart evacuates after a driver crashes their car into the front of their stores.
Jeez.
Yeah. It always baffles me when people do these things. The woman in Kansas,
Okay.
we're moving to Kansas now.
We're just going further south. That's all good.
A woman in Kansas perishes after crashing in an area Walmart. An area Walmart? An area Walmart? Okay. According to Newton Police Department, Wanda crashed into the Walmart on South Kansas Avenue Friday morning. Officials said that she suffered a medical emergency before the crash. Her vehicle ended up smashing through the front wall of the store and into the vision center. Okay, that's what it meant. Okay. The first responders pronounced the woman dead after she transported to the hospital with critical injuries. Walmart location evacuees see structural damage to the building. The city of Newton code enforced orders at the store to remain closed until crew could evaluate the building structure. No injuries were reported. That's so sad. It's one of those things where it seems like she had an episode in the car that led her to hit the building, basically, right? That's what I'm reading.
Yeah, basically a cardiac arrest, a stroke,
something,
and things, but like something in that ideal, that spectrum, which incapacitates you behind a wheel. So
yeah, that's it's just one of those things. You just like I worry about it sometimes. Not that crazy, but it's like if you just take a moment, it's one of those things when you're on the road, you have to always be aware of the people around you and then yourself. Like if something happens to you and just kind of have just a like when I get the hiccups in the car, I'm like, oh god, because there's just that split second you just like can go wrong. And it sadly went wrong for Wanda here, like, and
for Wanda.
So,
how did it end your life too? Like, I guess you're going out with a bang.
Big boom, yeah. I was wondering.
I'm not trying to make her death a sad or a funny attribute, but it has a ring to it. I wonder how the family's obituary would read that. I mean, unless they don't have a sense of humor, then.
Depends on individuals. I have a whole litany of stuff that I want at my wake. No.
Euro? Celebration of life.
Something party. It's just gonna be a party.
It's gonna be a party.
Right. Yeah, it's just gonna be a party.
Are you gonna be propped up in the middle, up there with the wax and
no, it's gonna be
veins, so you look like you're partying with them?
No, it's gonna be pure. Okay. It's gonna be pure ash. Like with this, with the future of this economy, it's gonna be too expensive to get a.
Oh, I know, I agree. I was talking about that. It's like, hey, you donate your body for science, you get cremated, it's all free, it's all good. It literally saves you guys money. And the people were like, and my family was like, and I was like, oh, that's true.
No, yeah, I said
my mom's like, well, your granddad did that. I'm like, yeah, she was smart. She was thinking ahead.
Hey, if you
save money on costs.
If you can use that money for something else, do it. Like, yeah, throw a small celebration for that person. Yeah. You know.
I actually have a funny story in that. So this is not my family member, but it was a family friend of ours. The wife actually forgot the husband's ashes at home.
Ooh.
And they had joked a long, long time ago that he'd be late for his own funeral. Hence, he was late for his own funeral.
Even toward the end, there.
I thought it was funny. I was like, that's pretty comical, the fact that they had joked a long, long time ago that he was going to be late for his own funeral, and hence he was. So
he was. Oh, God, man. But yeah, it's one of those things where I've even told my parents, like, yeah, they're getting ashed no matter what. It just
donate their body to science and then save yourself some money right there.
Like, yeah, it's bad. Like, as much as we're joking, it's like the cost for proceeding, funeral, coffins, and all that shit. It skyrockets. We could do math. You know, it's probably what, in the tens, in the five figures minimum.
Yeah.
Five figures.
Depending on what you would do with it. I mean, granted, renting a casket could be $1,000 right there. I mean, just for the 3 hours to use it. I mean, like.
So yeah, like they're getting yashed. They know it. So, like we'll throw a little.
I mean, you can always buy a plot. I mean, yeah, it's just sort of costly, but you can at least still bury them.
What I personally was thinking was buying a plot and building.
Mausoleum?
The mausoleum seems like the more expensive. How much are mausoleums?
Oh, but you buy a whole like set and you can bury them individually.
Well,
and you can have spots and you can set it out for them.
How much is a oh no, Moz.
They're expensive, you think about
it. Yeah, I think we're fine, Liz. Guess how much they are?
$100,000.
$250. I can buy a house, Liz.
You can put a house down payment for $250. Okay.
That's true. That's true. That's how bad it is. Yeah.
The way the houses are going up, that's a down payment for a house.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Like
even worth the mortgage.
The dead does not need their own house. They're but no, what I was thinking was like some Asian cultures have like family shrines and stuff like that. Just like a plot family shrine. That's it. Simple, easy, and simple, easy. Just keep it all there. But yeah, because boy, I did not think mausoleums were. I knew they were expensive, and I was thinking 5-ish figures, like 80,000. Ooh, it makes.
I understand. I don't. Well, what about a block where you can put the cremated ashes into?
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Like I said, that's what I'm thinking. Just like a decent plot, make it so. And then you can just stick the urns. Yeah, right, urns.
You can put a block, so I don't care.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Urns come in different types, sizes, and shapes, and all that shit.
Oh yeah,
I mean, you can even carry your ashes of your loved ones around someone.
But anyways, yeah, something like that. But anyways, that's besides the point. God damn, that's more expensive than a funeral themselves. Damn.
I know that one of my good guy friends, he has his ashes of his mom and his dad in like bullets.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And he has them on his key ring and so he's always taking them with him somewhere. It's kind of cool. I like it. I like the idea of it.
Years ago, we toyed the idea was we would split the ashes among the children and put it into our parents' favorite like animal and make statues of them. So each of us would have a statue of our parent. I think that's right. Am I saying that right? Yeah. So you would have your own.
If your mom liked the wolf or your dad liked the lion or something like that. Yeah, like that. Okay.
Yeah, something like that. So each of us would. Yeah. So yeah, that's originally like, but that's a story for the future or something. But yeah, we toyed with that idea. We just have to figure out how to do it. But with the way things are these days, you can do almost anything with anything. So
I almost thought, if you guys could put me in a cast molding and set me out in the tropical waters so I can make them become a coral reef, that'd be awesome too.
Oh, I don't know if you want to be in those waters these days. Nasty out there.
I know, but hey, it was a thought. It was a long time ago.
A long time ago, that would have been like a very good sentiment. But these days, it's like,
hey, if I could be a coral reef and keep the oceans alive, that's all that matters to me.
You'll be just food bait at this point for the last remaining animals in those areas.
I will be the starting of their housing, so I will be the base.
Okay, let's
the foundation.
let's talk about some somewhat positive news, and I have something to fill in with this.
All right, fine.
No. So, MrBeast recently said he made $26,000, 2,600,000.
260,000. I see that.
Yeah, from posting one video on X, but called it a facade. So everyone knows who's MrBeast. We've talked about him on the show. He is a YouTuber who makes a lot of different styles of content, gives away money, does a lot of philanthropy work, and he's made no silent comment about posting anywhere else besides YouTube because of how much money ad revenue is made on YouTube, and he's people have tried telling him post videos on, or Elon Musk has been trying to get him to post on X, and he said like, okay, I'll run one test, I'll post one video. So he posted one of his older videos, and so let's kind of go over a little bit of this, but we can just and then we can talk about it. So Jimmy Donaldson, better known as the YouTuber MrBeast, said Monday that he made over 260,000 in revenue on X, formerly Twitter, after he shared one of his videos on the platform, but he's calling the figure a bit of a facade. My first X video made over $250,000. Hey, look, a mausoleum right there. Advertisers saw the attention it was getting and bought ads on my video, I think. And thus my revenue per view is probably higher than what you'd expect. Bruh. That makes sense. If you're getting more ads on the video that is being promoted, that makes sense why he's getting more AdSense and just getting more, because not every person's gonna make that much money, even though with his reach, yeah, no one's gonna make that on a single video. Donaldson made the statement after a week of questions from many X users about how frequently they were seeing his video on the platform. Some users speculate that it was being promoted in undisclosed ways because of how many times they've seen it on the platform. I actually didn't see that video myself. Donaldson posted the video on X. Owner invited him to. Donald said that he tested out the platform while also saying that he didn't think the revenue would be equivalent to the cost of making his video. So kind of what I was saying earlier. It's not worth him making videos if he's not earning money back for videos. So anything else that's really important? But yeah, anyways, basically after that, he actually just this morning at the time of this recording, he said he was giving away that money, the $250,000. He gave it away to 10 random followers on his Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it.
Wow, that's cool. That's good. Nice of him.
So yeah, that's the only reason I use Twitter.
$25K?
Yeah, $25,000.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, all you had to do was like and retweet.
And it was gifted, so technically, if in the state of Oregon and Washington, you get 9,000 of it untaxed.
Wait, $25,000?
Oh yeah, but 9,000 of it was a gift, so that can be untaxed. So everything else beyond that, the 18,000 still gets taxed. But
and that he has his way. He knows how to deal with that.
17,000, excuse me.
But yeah, anyways, yeah.
I'm off on my math today.
It's
16. Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
But anyways, besides that, yeah, he that's nice. It's one of those things where he's just giving back and giving once again. Actually, recently, I actually won a MrBeast giveaway.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, like that. From anyone who's watching it, the jacket behind me, I actually won that on a MrBeast giveaway that he was doing a sponsored thing with Shopify and stuff like that. And it's one of those things where, like, just there's sometimes if you just enter a giveaway, what's the harm? I decided, fine, I'll do it. I've done things to try to get in some MrBeast videos. I won't deny that. And I'm like, I'll try. And I got myself a free windbreaker, and it's a really nice one. So, and for anyone saying that's a scam, no, it's like through the whole MrBeast thing. So I'm like, and it's one of those things like you just never know. You could have been one of those 10 people who won $25,000.
Exactly, at random.
Like, what's the worst?
Cool.
That's the worst. What's the worst in trying? Like, I got myself a really nice windbreaker now in this weather in Oregon.
Especially Oh hell yeah, that would definitely work.
So yeah, I'm happy, you know. Like it's one of those things like he just pays it forward for the most part, and you know I watch his videos all the time when they pop out. And I enjoy, for the most part, I enjoy the content for what it is, and we'll see how this whole MrBeast and X thing will turn out. It's one of those things. Also, I understand from like not everyone's gonna make that much money, and I can see like people want the eyes that MrBeast gets. That's why you get all these ad revenue companies trying to sponsor him. Like he just has the people watching him, so it makes so much sense.
He has the face, as we would say.
Yeah,
he has the face.
He has the face, and he has the
make money. I'm going to make money,
and he has the eyes of the audience. So why wouldn't you want to put your company's logo on one of his videos to make more money? So well, I can see why people are not happy about it, but it is true. I this is a whole just like an X/Twitter thing. X is it's its own thing right now. We've been trying to avoid talking about the platform itself. But like during the whole 2023, it's been a shitstorm over there. But you know, they're trying to do stuff with it, and like TikTok just got TikTok Shop, right? And it's trying to be Amazon, and now Twitter's trying to be kind of like YouTube, but we'll see how things turn out. But you know, more props, you know, if people are able to make some revenue from it, that's cool. That's another way to, maybe if we get lucky one day, we can start posting our videos up there. Doesn't hurt to try.
Maybe one of the day.
So
we just need followers. Hey people, follow.
There you go. All right. Actually, let's watch a quick video. And plus, there's an article that follows it from The Guardian.
Okie dokie.
Also pop up the video. So while we grab that, give us 1 second, everyone. All right. So the article, Liz, if you want to read it really quick, I just give your initial thoughts, and then we can kind of go over it.
And what does it say?
Yeah.
Florida advances law banning children under 16 from using social media.
So what are your thoughts, just kind of hearing that? We've talked about how social media handles with younger...
I kind of agree. Like it's a great idea because we can limit how much exposure to the real world and how much of it's so damaging to mental health and damaging in general. Like I don't care if they play games, but you know, like social like media like Facebook, Twitter, or X,
Instagram, TikToks,
like everything, like any of those ones, they can be very destructive of how you look at it. I mean, some of my stuff has been really like I've been perturbed by it because the way it looks at me, and I'm like, wow, you don't even know me, but you think that's what I need and want?
Yeah, okay, the algorithm. Sure. The algorithm.
I think it's very damaging. I think it's very harmful. I mean, I kind of agree with that. Like it sucks because, okay, as a parent, we try and enforce how much our children are exposed, but it's very impossible with, you know, phones these days. You know, they have access to the internet, they have access to everything, and so I kind of would help. I agree.
All right, so okay, read a little bit of the article and then we'll watch the video a little bit.
Florida lawmakers advanced a bill on Wednesday that could prohibit social media platforms from allowing young teens to have an account while requiring everyone else to verify their age. The measure prohibits anyone under 16 from creating a new social media account and requires platforms to delete existing accounts held by minors who are younger than 16. It also requires social media companies to delete any personal information from accounts and for the platforms to use non-governmental, independent, third-party, non-affiliated with the social media platform to verify users' age.
Ooh, that's so much work. Okay, so let's watch this video then.
You know, it was really funny. My dad called me about this. he called me in the morning because like sometimes he'll like he reads the newspaper and everything, and there's a law that's being pushed to actually ban social media users from under 16 ban social media from having users under 16. And so Florida hasn't passed the bill. The Florida House of Representatives passed the bill, but it also might be passed by the Senate. And the House passed the bill by a vote 106-13.
So it has been passed.
Well, I mean, if it's 106-13, I can pretty well guess where the Senate's going to go. So
okay,
yeah,
so it has
you
been
can
passed.
pretty much assume this is going to happen. And should be 18. Yeah, I think that's what I told my dad. I said I think it should be 18. This is a great decision, and social media platforms bill would target any site that tracks user activity, allows children to upload content, or uses addictive features designed to cause compulsive use. How do you define this? So yeah, let's go back down here. As digital, it describes social media as digital fentanyl for kids. I think this is an outrageous.
I don't know. Maybe, okay, it's high. It's extreme. What are you saying?
It's a dopamine high, exactly. Yeah. And I kind of get the idea of the fentanyl use. I think that's over exaggeration of a fentanyl, but
you do.
I get the concept, the idea.
You do, but there is a high to some people. Getting the likes, getting the clicks, getting the. I get that. Like even when we talk about at least these videos, the ones we make and the posts we do. When we get so many views, it does give us a little bit of like, oh, cool, it's great, right? We won't deny that.
But you get to see it more than I do, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, true. Well, that's what you got to look into, Liz. Anyways, that's besides the point.
I do listen when I can. When I can. Hello.
True, but it's more. It can be more detrimental for children because it becomes part of their psyche at such a developing age. Like definitely. I'm not gonna deny that we grew up during the time where social media was just popping off. People wanted those likes and stuff, and now it's engraved in society to because people we've talked about it before. A lot of young people don't want to be doctors or lawyers or anything. They want to be influencers. They want to be YouTubers, streamers, TikTokers. Like that's the new dream. Mm-hmm. And then it's interesting. It's interesting to see how now governments are trying to control. Well, it's more control, but I think there are some levels of there should be some limitations definitely. But how they set them, that's going to be really where it's going to go, and that's where it's going to get into. And it sounds like from what it looks like, it passed already in the House, so that's really big. There's 106-13. I was like, it's probably, we'll see what the Senate says, but it'll probably have at this point since the article's been a while. But let's any thoughts so far? Okay, let's
I think I kind of get it. I think I know what it's heading towards.
Okay, let's see what Asmongold has more to say. Oh my god, it's loading.
This is like it's like this is the kind of person that would be talking about how Grand Theft Auto is causing school shootings, right, in 2005. So like this person's insane. But yeah, even with the most plugged in parent or attuned teen has a hard time shutting the door against these addicted futures. And let's see here. Well, then what chance will they have? It's ironic that like somebody like this will so this is what I think. I think that this should be a federal law. Damn, you agree with it? I totally agree with it. I am completely in support of this. I don't think that there is any benefit.
Okay, are we pro or against this thought? I have my thought. We'll do thumbs up or thumbs down, and then we'll for our listeners we'll say it. So ready? 3, 2, 1.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. I agree. I'm for this. Like there should be some level of, because definitely social media is real rough on people and
toxic. It's toxic to younger viewers. It just is.
So yeah, let's continue then.
For a underage person to be on social media in any capacity. Now, I do think that an application like YouTube Kids is an exception. But like inside of those exceptions, I would have like a number of like criterias. Like for example, like if it is a kid's website or a kid's platform, there would be no capability for peer-to-peer communication. Like you could never talk to another person on that platform, because if you allow that to happen, it's going to be full of pedos, right? That's really just the truth. That's the reason.
That's one of those things.
And so
we've talked about stories like that.
I think this doesn't go far enough. I think it should be 18 years old, because that's the age that you're legally an adult federally.
That's its own thing.
States. And I think that there is no business that a kid has being on social media. I don't want to read a 16-year-old's opinion about anything, much less a 14 or 13-year-old, right? And so, 16 is definitely an age where they have their own autonomy. I think legally 18 would be better. Yeah, I think so too. What constitutes social media is Discord as well. A social media website, let's see. I think that you would start with things like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. What is Discord social media? That's a really great question. I think it is. I would classify it as social media.
Yeah, I would too.
I think so.
Yes and no, but that's for my kiddo, it is a great platform to communicate with all their friends. Because everybody has different phones, right? But Discord is so uniquely one way that they have a way of communicating with all three friends at the same time.
Exactly.
So I get, yes, it is, but it's kind of like this gray area, but I like it because it's a controlled like environment. It's just those three people. Unless you know their name, you have to go track them down to go find them. But it's great because they can communicate with all three friends. All three friends are on the phone at the same time. Because if somebody has an Android or a Google or an iPhone, they have different ways of communicating with each other. But now this way is just all simultaneous, and they could all video chat with each other, hang out, be on a phone call together. It's easier for my child to be on a phone call, and I know exactly when I can see it too.
Okay, that's true, because the way you can tell if someone's on Discord, at least. But definitely it is a community based, because Discord itself is you can have your own server, and you can join other people's servers. That's where you have to really be careful, is like who when children are joining random servers, because people have public servers that people can just join at random. We have our own private server for our stuff, because we have to keep track of all the notes.
And it's a private server for them, that's for sure.
So, yeah.
I know that for a fact.
Yeah. But it's just one of those things people wonder, like, people jump into other people's servers and get invited to other servers. Like, oh, yeah, you join this one so you can get more stuff. That's where people have to be worried some, and you get these, chances of, the pedos and stuff like that.
I get it, but my kiddo is very, it is private. They know who's getting on because they gave their server name to that person. They know exactly. So unless their phone's been hacked, then it's a different story. But they usually question it, like, "Who are you?"
I'm more generalizing. I'm more generalizing instead of just using your child.
But I get it.
Because in truth, how many servers do you have besides our own? Like, how many servers do you
have? One more. That's it.
So yeah, like I have.
But that was because it was from your friends, so
you can, yeah, but yeah, like you could probably remove that one, because that's a dead server at this point. At this point, I have 13 I'm on 13 different servers.
Wow. So I don't do that much.
It's one of those things like I have 13 different servers. I'm active in 5 of them. Like, I communicate with other people on those because they're community based. So, but do I know them fully? No. I think I've only DM'd 2 people from from different servers. We talked separately. It's one of those things you just have to be careful. Why I would agree with at least Asmund, it's like, you gotta be careful who's on what server. What I would have recommended is you have created the server and you manage that server, and you would know like who's coming in and out of the server, because we've seen people coming in of our server too. Like, we've invited people.
Oh, I have never seen that. So I've never seen ours. So I mean, they're very. My kiddo has their head on straight, so I'm not.
Oh yeah, that's like that. That's what I would have said long ago. Oh,
yeah. But I know. But my kid is very like strict on who's on there and what's going on. But yeah, they don't ever really join. They have like their own friends on that server. That's it. There's like maybe a group of 5 of them, maybe 6.
All right, let's continue.
Oh no, it's loading.
Because like there's a lot of creeps and pedos on Discord. And also like what's the benefit to kids to have Discord?
Well, she said it.
How do you enforce that though? So here's how you would enforce it. This is how I would want to enforce it. Number 1, there are less kids on social media, like places like Twitch, because they can't be themselves on the platform. So if simply stating who you are will get you banned, you will have more people, you will have less people who are that group that are on there. And also this was not a, like, it's not a silver bullet, let's delete every kid and it's going to solve this problem 100%. Scan ID to join? No, I don't think so. I think you just have to put that you're 18 and then that would be just about it.
The old way to people got porn. Like, I am 18.
ID required? No, because if you require an ID to make an account, you remove internet anonymity. And as much as I care about, you know, kids being safe on the internet, I care more about internet anonymity than that. So, yeah, I don't think it's worth it, personally. It's like, you know, tier list, and internet anonymity is S tier. You know, protecting the kids is like low S tier or A tier, right? That's really just what it comes down to, in my opinion. But the other thing that I would do is I would make all social media platforms only be able to be read-only. So you wouldn't be able to look at anything on the social media platform at all or access anything about it unless you had an account. So yeah, when you're not logged in, I
can see that because, yeah, even if you don't have a Twitter account, you can still see a tweet. If you don't have a Facebook account, as long as you send the link, you can still check you can still look at an image. You can still go, even if you don't have Reddit, you can still look at a Reddit post. I think that would help levy these things. Like yeah, you would still need an account to access the content that's on that site. Like more so because a lot of us, like, I know when we were doing a lot of the Reddit stuff, you still got to read the Reddit stuff even if you didn't have an account. But definitely some of the stories was not stories that was age appropriate for younger viewers. So it's like one of those things like, yeah, I think it's better if they had an account that says they're old enough to see the account or see the content of that account. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I get it. I get what he's coming from. Like, yeah, how do you get around? There's loopholes, obviously, but yes, I understand the anonymity of wanting to keep your, you know, like, can you really, like, how safe is that? Like, we all know that everything gets hacked, right? So if you scan your ID, someone's got your identity runs. So, like, I get it from that concept. Like, maybe not.
No.
You know?
Again. And so that's what I would, those would be 2 things that I'd want to do. Now, I think that any reasonable person, right? We were all kids. We know that there will be ways that kids get around this.
Yeah.
But it's really just a method of like kind of lowering the amount of people that are doing it, not necessarily preventing it from happening. And I do think
that's true. You're never gonna 100%. There's no there. You're 100% not gonna clear all that. When there's a will, there's a way, right, Liz?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So I think lowering it is better than 100%. I think that I agree with that.
it would be better. Can't share tweets? No, you can't. You could still be anonymous with ID verification. No, you can't. I can't imagine that, right? And so, yeah. And that's what I think. And so, yeah, I don't think kids should be on social media for any reason. And it won't make a difference. No, I think it will. It definitely will. Will it make a huge difference? I don't know. It's really kind of hard to say. And how else would you be able to determine, like, what it is? I don't know. Like, how do you determine whether somebody's 18 or not?
Okay, give us 1 second. Okay, I think we kind of get the gist of that. It's true. It's one of those things where we honestly don't know um the full scope. Like if they do it, it passes everything, and they do lower it. We won't know the extent of how the effect is going to go, because it's going to take years to really see anything, because we've had social media since Instant Messenger to MySpace to for a couple, or at least almost 2 decades now, right?
I would say almost 3 if you think about it, because we're in our 30s. I mean, some people, we've seen it since the early 2000s, so
at least 2 decades.
I mean,
at least
it's been around. It's probably been around since the start of the internet. I think you think about it, right?
So yeah, it's at least minimum 2 decades, and you can see how it's changed people in our generation and the generation before us, how it's affecting them, and how it's affecting now some of the younger generation. So even if it does pass, it's going to be a while before we see like any real change, until like probably my nephew's generation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we won't so we're just gonna have to wait and see. At the end of the day, we both agree, I think, that it is for the betterment. Maybe because we get to use it.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I understand where other people are coming from, where government control, again,
that's a whole,
somebody's got to be in the monitor. You know, we can only do so much, right?
That's true. It's one of those things where we often don't really get into the politics of stuff, but it's one of those things like someone has to oversee it, and if it's not you, who then, right?
Yeah. But I also, my other funny thought was, I thought Florida was a bunch of seniors in there, not a whole lot of children, even though Disneyland or Disney World's there.
Not true. It's like one of the things, like once you leave Florida, like, can I now get a, like, if you move, you're from, like, say you're from, what's north of Florida?
Georgia, South Carolina.
Okay, we'll just do South Carolina. You're from South Carolina, like, you have already social media, you have to move to Florida, you lose all your accounts just because of that.
I know, right? Yeah, that's a
whole.
Just because
that's a whole nother can of worms.
It's like somebody can have a border and then be like, oh, you know, somebody who lives like in the northern part of Florida, and they move up north a little bit, or they stepped over the line, literally having it, or like, and have the white, you know, all these accounts, right? And then you also have to think about all those ones that you can say, oh, I'm from a different genome, or what do you call those?
Geographic? The VPNs.
Like
the VPNs. The VPNs.
VPNs, different VPN. Like, again, how do you trick? You can trick the system.
Like, yeah,
it does exist. It does. There is loopholes.
When there's a will, there's a way
to get around it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And look at that shit.
All right. Let's. Any final thoughts as far as this story? And if not, then we can jump into the next story.
Yep. Nope. I think we're good.
All right.
Jump on to the next.
The other story I wanted to talk about was that woman who had a little bit of an episode. I'll let you read this one.
I saw about that one. I don't know.
Yeah, go for it.
I thought I heard another one that actually, there's another. Part 2 of this story.
Yeah, go for
Woman
it.
gets probation for fatally stabbing during weed-induced psychosis. A Thousand Oaks woman who faced the prospect of life in prison if convicted of stabbing to death a man who was sentenced Tuesday to 2 years probation and 100 hours of community service after arguing that she was on a cannabis-induced psychosis during the killing. Authorities responded to a Thousand Oaks apartment on May 27, 2018. Oh my God.
Been a while.
We're looking at 5 years ago, over 5 years ago. And found that Byron Spector, 30, Spetcher? I don't know. 32 had stabbed Chad O'Melia, 26, dozens of times, then turned the knife on herself and on her dog. She was arrested on suspicion of murder and charged with that offense. But in an extraordinary turn of events last year, a prosecutor and medical experts agreed with the defense expert for Spetcher that the behavior was a result of cannabis-induced psychosis, which she suffered after taking hits from the victim's bong. The expert conducted that the prosecutors characterized as a test that she showed that was not exaggerating or faking her behavior that day. Prosecutor opted to reduce the charge to involuntary manslaughter with a series of enhancements. That decision came after psychologist Chris Mahandi, a consultant for the law enforcement, examined Spectre her interviews with this law enforcement and police body camera footage and produced a 37-page report that concluded that she had lost touch with reality due to highly potent marijuana. After 4 hours of deliberation, a jury in December found her guilty of involuntary manslaughter, a charge that can carry a 4-year prison sentence. So, I heard that there was another. It just continues on about the community service.
So what are your So what are your initial thoughts of that of it? Just first thoughts, just before we discuss of someone getting their sentence reduced that much for a quote murder.
Absolutely asinine. It's so freaking crazy. Like, I get it, but I don't get it. Like, that is crazy. How you can be drug induced and like murder somebody and get away with it, literally. I mean, we've heard stories, seen stories that way that were like that, where I took Ambien and killed my neighbor. I mean, we
probably tell the story on this show, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just bonkers that this woman's getting away with this murder. But again, we have no control over the marijuana business. So, I mean, to an extent we do, yes. But again, how potent is that one? How, an average person can take so much. Some people have a high tolerance, some people have a very low tolerance. We all know that from our 420 episode that I failed on.
Yeah. You live and learn.
Yep, exactly. And
also what mental state they're in too.
Yeah, what mental state were they in too? Exactly. Agree. I think that is so far-fetched. I don't know how much I want to believe it was really drug-induced. But part of me is kind of torn. Like, yeah, maybe. Is it like Ambien or Zolpidem? So, it's the same thing to a patient who can start walking on their own in their sleep, driving, eating all sorts of shenanigans. Who would see this, right?
So my thoughts right now are kind of split into two concepts of from family's concept for her, like her family versus the boyfriend's family. Like from from her family's perspective, like she almost ended up 4 years in jail, almost life, right? If I remember right, life in prison,
almost,
for definitely a really heinous crime of taking someone's life, and for them to just end up with was it 2 years in probation or something like that? Or it's just probation. We'll say probation. From her family's side, that must have been a relief and everything. But then from the boyfriend's family side, it's like no justice was really served. They lost their child, a family member because of this incident. And like it's one of those things where like, was justice served? I think that's the question at the end of the day. And I wonder what this judge was trying to do then, right? It's one of those things where we only know this. We only know so much from the context we're given from this article. I personally, my opinion, my thoughts here is that for the victim side of the family, I don't think they got, because they'll never get their son back or their family member. So they should at least face a little bit more heavier consequence than that. That is my opinion. What are your thoughts?
I kind of agree. Yeah, I don't care how drug induced it was. Yeah, you should have been more careful of what you were doing. You barely, what I read from the article, they've only been dating for a couple weeks. So, I guess she should have asked the questions. She should have been like more conscientious of what she was. Oh, I'm just taking a hit. That's fine. I'll take a second hit because I don't feel quite the high yet. And then, but you don't know what that marijuana was laced with, or he might have put in that marijuana too for his own high. How do you know? I mean, again, I kind of get it from the victim's perspective. Like, oh yeah, I'm never getting my significant other back or that family member back. But there's dangers of everywhere. I mean, yes, she should have taken an accountability that she took a life despite the psychosis.
And those are just...
She took a life. That's just it. Yeah, I mean...
What more can you say?
Yeah.
Not a single fuck was given this day.
Exactly. I agree. I think it's... I feel sorry for the family that lost a brother, a sibling, a brother, a family member, a cousin, a nephew, a grandson, a son in general. I mean, that's terrifying, sad, and...
So I would say that she should be lucky. She should be happy and lucky that she got this, quote, second chance and make the most of it. That's
Oh, yeah. And make it, maybe, be a tribute to that person's life. Hey, I made it, I might have taken this person's life. I'll do their bucket list for them or something crazy. Or live their memory, or engrave their name on their freaking body with a tattoo. I don't care. Just something to kind of commemorate the memory of this person. Like, hey, I took this person's life under. I
don't know. That sounds pretty murderous. That sounds like a serial killer, Liz. Got to be careful getting to serial killer levels.
Who knows?
They just keep adding names to their tattoos, their arms, just like whose name is that?
How many names do you have? You got 26. You got away with all those murders. I got one of every alphabet, baby.
All right, let's talk about a little bit more, less murderous, but still a heinous crime. Because religion can. We've been talking about laws, politics, judge. Let's talk about religion. Fun times. I'll let you do that. I'm gonna pull up a video.
Right into it. That's all the things you're not supposed to do.
And we also have a video we'll watch afterward. Let me just get that ready. So everyone, give us one moment.
I have a feeling. Colorado pastor accused of pocketing $1.3 million in crypto scheme, saying "Lord told us to."
You gotta love it when God told us to. The Lord told us to.
Bruh.
Do
Okay.
you want me to read a little bit of it?
Read a little bit of it so we can kind of get a context of what Charlie's going to be talking about.
A Colorado-based pastor from an online church.
Church. Didn't we talk about doing that one time?
We joked about this.
God, Liz, we should have. Look, 1.3 million. Why don't we?
Crypto.
Still, it's the money. We could have done something with that. At least we would have been better with it. Okay. God, we're not scumbags.
We're not started with the crypto arc.
So, anyways, yeah, this is the year of the crypto arc. All right, so so what happened a little bit?
Accused of pocketing $1.3 million through a cryptocurrency fraud scheme, told followers in a video statement that the Lord told him to do it. Eli Regato and his wife marketed the cryptocurrency INDX
index,
to Christian
coin.
communities. Oh, index, I'm sorry. To communities in Denver, saying God told him people who would become wealthy if they invested in the Colorado Division of Securities, and is in statement Thursday.
Oh yes, Liz, I can make you so much money if God is telling me if we invest this much money in this, we'll all be wealthy.
Yeah, it's funny because Index Coin raised nearly $3.2 million, the securities division said. At least $1.3 million that went directly to the Regatos or used for their own personal benefits, said a complaint.
So it did make some people wealthy. It did make some wealthy, but not everyone.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay.
Oh gosh. Oh Lord, I know what they did with it. Okay.
All right, I think let's see what. Let's see what Charlie says then.
All right, Charlie.
On my channel for well over a decade now, and I'm not pulling your leg or exaggerating when I tell you that the one I'm about to go over I find to be the most ridiculous yet. Not in terms of how intricate or in-depth the scam is. It's not some galaxy brain supervillain scheme. It's your standard, classic pump and dump cryptocurrency hogwash. However, It was run by an online pastor and his wife, and they brought in over $3 million and personally pocketed over $1 million into their own little piggy bank.
Bruh.
And basically, they led their followers to believe that God would make them extremely wealthy if they put their money into Index Coin, which was their cryptocurrency.
And look at that
I've
shit.
mentioned this before, but I used to be extraordinarily religious. I actually got baptized twice because I was concerned the Lord might have missed my first baptism. Maybe he slept in and didn't get to see it, so I wanted to make sure to do it again just in case. I feel like I can say on good authority that this is just downright blasphemous. That is usually something attributed to the work of the devil, where you sell your soul to the devil in exchange for wealth. That's not something God would ever really say, like, hey, put money into crypto and I'll make sure that it 10x's to the moon. It's a good one, trust me. So the pastor and his wife are facing fraud charges for this.
I'm glad.
He released a 9-minute response video. And I don't know how he was able to record that whole video without getting smited, because the shit he says in there is just diabolical. I'm not kidding. He says God told him to do this. He says that God was the puppet master behind all of it, instructed him to do this. Basically, he's just blaming the big man upstairs for this whole hoopla, fundamentally saying that the Lord forced him to scam Christians, like when you really boil it down. And that's only the tip of the iceberg. Mudahar just made a video going more in depth on the particulars of the scam itself.
So if you
want more information on exactly what happened in that regard,
yeah,
check out
there's
some
more
Mary
information
Gamer's
out there.
video on it. I'm here to focus on the absurdity of it and the response video that he released, because hooey, it is wacky. Someone by the name of Molly White gave us all a blessing of a nice, concise supercut that breaks down the 9-minute video into just the most important moments that he talks about. So that's what we're going to be watching.
9 minutes condensed to 2. I'm glad.
And I are being charged in a civil charge from the Colorado Securities and Exchange Commission.
I like he has the green screen behind him.
Millions of dollars worth of cryptocurrency that is deemed worthless by the state.
And by everyone else in the world with eyes. So he's trying to cushion it a little bit, like it's a civil lawsuit for all of this, and it's deemed worthless by the state, but it is worthless completely by every possible definition ever. It is worthless. This was, from the get-go, it seems, designed to just make them a lot of money and fuck a lot of the followers in the ass. So there's a lot of people that lost a lot of money on this. And now they're looking at some repercussions, and this is his attempt to try and spin himself as kind of the victim here.
Now, the reason that they're...
So what are your thoughts? Now that we're about to hear his reason, but what's going through your head?
I guess you gotta be some sort of stupid to be do that kind of crap.
Yeah.
God. You have to be some sort of stupid to fall for that shit. Like, give me money. Invest into this index coin. It will graciously give you into heaven. How many years, how many centuries have we been hearing this? If you invest into this, you will be blessed with the gates of heaven. Like, how many years has this, like, every one of them has, like, literally said, hey, if you invest, I mean, oh my God, there's a word I want to say, but it's just like,
not enough. It's not enough.
Bruh.
It's just like,
the thing is, you forget how devoted some people are, that they believe this stuff.
I you know what? Get on them. But again, they just got themselves in the ass fucked. They got screwed out of money. They're never gonna get it back. But God will bless him with heaven. Don't worry about this. I mean, we have been tricked, scammed all our lives, and here we are.
You're just suffering for the end. You're just suffering for the end. So, like, you don't need food. You don't need a roof over your head. The end will work. All right, all right.
God did not teach
that
us
it's
to be
worthless
rich.
is because there is no exit for people who have bought.
Do you know what we call that? A scam. Basically, people who bought in can't exit. Their money is now stuck there. But you know who could exit? The pastor and his wife. Oh, and they did. They made off like bandits with over $1.3 million.
We launched an exchange. The exchange technology failed. Things went downhill. And from that point forward, we've just been waiting on the Lord literally for a miracle. So The charges are that Caitlin and I pocketed $1.3 million, and I just want to come out and say that those charges are true. So there's been $1.3 million that's been taken out of, I think it was a total of $3.4 million. But out of that 1.3, $500,000 went to the IRS, and a few $100,000 went to a home remodel that the Lord told us to do.
Yes, you heard that correctly. Go ahead and...
The Lord told us that I needed to refinish my kitchen, Liz.
Finish my kitchen. My kitchen is actually fucking damaged.
The Lord did not.
Need that money, Pastor. No, please. The Lord is telling you.
No, the Lord says you still need to suffer. I need my kitchen. He's telling me, Liz.
Yeah. Are you feeding a million souls out of that kitchen? That's all I gotta ask.
No, he just wants me to live in a life of godliness, Liz.
Bruh.
All right.
Oh my fucking God.
Rewind it if you're still in disbelief. He said that a few $100,000 went to a home remodel that the Lord told them to do. What an insightful conversation that must have been with God. I had no idea God was so into interior design. Not many people get that privilege of being able to speak to him directly.
Charlie,
I love to imagine that. Pastor Eli just hanging out one day and God gets him on the horn, rings him up, and he's like, "Hey, Eli, buddy, listen. Your house is atrocious. Am I a joke to you? You worship me in a place that looks like this? It's embarrassing. It's revolting. Listen here. Allocate a few $100,000, upgrade this bitch ASAP, so that way you can start worshiping in style, because this is not what Christianity is about. You're living in a goddamn crack shack, and we've got to fix that ASAP, okay? All right. This is the Almighty signing out. Amen." Saddest part is, this strategy actually works. This is an extremely effective tactic used by a lot of really corrupt, evil pastors, most notably Kenneth Copeland. Kenneth Copeland has private jets, and when asked about it, he defends it by saying that God wants him to. There's also another pastor, I forgot his name, but he's a friend of Kenneth Copeland's. The two of them are like these demonic leeches that feed off of each other's wealth, and they both have private jets, and basically said that God needs them in a private jet because it brings them closer to him. And if I remember correctly, they were even quoted saying that they can't be caught in a tube with demons, so they need the privacy of the jet to be more spiritually attuned with God. That's how they justify this luxurious lifestyle they live, which of course runs counter to the actual lessons of Christianity, but for some reason they keep getting away with it. Even in this case, Pastor Eli is receiving a lot of support from the people that he is directly...
What are your thoughts, Liz? People are supporting him for them losing their money.
Money succubus. Money succubus. That's all that comes to mind. Is like this. They're demons themselves. They are assholes, demons.
Scam and money. Openly admitting to scamming.
So how this whole thing started is the Lord told us in 21 to walk away from our marketing company, and he said, "I'm going to do a new thing." And then he took us into this cryptocurrency. It was a different cryptocurrency other than index coin at the time. Well, that cryptocurrency turned out to be a scam.
Oh my goodness, he's portraying the Lord as like a reckless investor here, a crypto bro. How many NFTs does God have, you think? How many Bored Apes does he own? Also, Pastor Eli and God must be like this. They must be tight because they are constantly talking, so much so that the Lord tries to pitch him on cryptocurrency. Like, hey, bud, brother, take a peek at this thing. Have you ever heard of cryptocurrency? It uses this holy technology called the blockchain. We should check this out. You should look into this a little bit, Eli. And then, like, the first coin that God leads him down the path of is a scam. He even just openly says it right there. So, like, the first coin, right after going down the spiritual journey with God, it was a scam. How anyone can hear this senseless drivel, this gobbledygook from Pastor Eli and actually take it seriously and believe it is beyond me. But let's play ball with it for a second. God is the creator, and he's omniscient. And yet somehow, he fell victim to a cryptocurrency scam? In his infinite wisdom and knowledge, even he was bested by the cryptocurrency menace. What hope do we have? I can only imagine the white paper on that first cryptocurrency that Eli and God went halvesies on there. That must have been the most convincing thing ever, if it was enough to convince the Lord that it was real.
And so the Lord says, give that to them, but also give them a 10x. And I'm like, well, where's this liquidity going to come from? And the Lord says, trust me. Well, as money is coming in, we would be sowing it. And at first it was hundreds of dollars and thousands of dollars, then tens of thousands of dollars.
What is God cooking here? It's like a multi-level marketing scheme. He's about to start running a Ponzi scheme or something here. What? He actually hit Pastor Eli with the trust me bro there on where the liquidity comes from? Interesting. Maybe Pastor Eli is innocent after all. It's so... Obviously dropping the sarcasm here for a second. It is crazy to me that someone like Pastor Eli Regalado, or however you say his last name, is actually trying this right now, and that it's actually working. That's the saddest fucking part. I'm going to skip ahead real quick here. I was going to save these screenshots till after I finish the response, but it just feels natural to put them in right now. Here's some of the responses that he's received from people in the community. What a crazy ride, Eli. I can't imagine what you guys are going through. Prayers going up. What about the crazy ride that all of the victims are going?
I have no words.
Going through with over $3 million stolen from them in this scam. Why are your prayers going to Eli, who made off with over $1 million here? Those prayers aren't even falling on deaf ears. Pastor Eli actively uses prayers as toilet paper to wipe his ass with. This guy took the prayers of hundreds of people that were praying for a miracle, a financial miracle, and completely trashed them. Someone said, standing with you, and then someone else said, unending support. Why? Why are you standing with him? He is open.
Liz, we gotta open that online church. We have to. We're falling behind.
God is telling us right now to open that church.
God is telling us which one we don't know, but one is, because we can do it after we're done recording.
And
we
be
can
the convoluted crimson sea.
like we're done recording. We can do our 1 hour what are they called now? Sermons. I don't know. It's been forever. It's been years. But we're done recording. We start our session, whatever they're called. We do it. We can do it, Liz.
Here's our homily. Here's our preachings.
We'll be there. We'll be there for you guys every Saturday morning.
Saturday morning.
Admitting to a scam. Why are you supporting him endlessly? He is openly admitting to a scam. He doesn't even have the courtesy to take responsibility for his own actions here. He is blaming God, which is like the worst thing you can do in Christianity, to blame God for the evils you have committed. So sorry for stress you passed through. God has the plan for you and your team. He will lead you through to the success of this project. And Eli just says, yes. The project is dead, much like the bank accounts for many of the vulnerable people that Eli exploited here. What do you mean you're sorry for his stress? What about the stress of the actual victims? Someone else says, stay in the boat, trust in the Lord, and stop looking at the storm. Amen, Sean. What do you mean stay in the boat? The boat has capsized. There was no boat. It was a fucking yacht that Eli was buying with the money that he scammed from you and people like you. What do you mean? This is not God's plan. Thanks for the update. No one can close a door the Lord has opened. This is not a door the Lord has opened. This is a door Eli kicked open into fraudulent activity, taking advantage of a ton of people that were vulnerable. And Eli says, Isaiah 22:22, brother, thanks for standing and encouraging us through all of it. Of course, everybody is familiar with Isaiah 22:22. It's one of the most famous sermons. It's the excerpt that states, buy low, sell high. There's just a few examples of people still supporting him. It's just this perception that pastors are infallible, and that if
we've heard stories about horrible pastors.
Pastor that might be sinful on you. It's not. This guy is openly admitting to his scam that he and his wife ran, and he is blaming God for it. That is as sinful as it gets. It is ridiculous to try and paint him as a victim or something like that. It's so unreal.
Money would come in, we tithe, we sow, more money would come in. And so we were just always under the impression that God was going to provide, that the source was never ending, that God was doing a new thing, and that we had nothing to worry about. And we sold a cryptocurrency with no clear exit. We did. We took God at his word and sold a cryptocurrency with no clear exit. And so the prosecutors have to take that and say, these people willingly sold a cryptocurrency with no clear exit. What we're praying for and what we're believing for still is that God is going to do a miracle. God is going to work a miracle in the financial sector.
I'm going to go ahead and spoil how this anime ends. There's not going to be a miracle in the financial sector. This is a bunch of baloney. He and his wife are scammers, and they have used Christianity and God's name in vain here in order to pocket an outrageous amount of wealth for themselves. I feel bad for the victims here because I have no doubt that they're on the older side of things, at least judging by some of the comments I've read, so probably had no clue what cryptocurrency was and just trusted the pastor at his word that God was helping and steering this in the right direction and it would help improve their financial security. I imagine a lot of them were probably desperate, especially given the current climate of things right now. There's a lot of people struggling. So hearing something like this from someone you trust, a pastor, who's saying like, put money in here and the Lord will provide and help you out when you need it most. A lot of people would likely buy into that, and they clearly did, and now they're fucking ruined for it. And meanwhile, this guy and his wife have made over $1 million from it and are still trying to spin this as though they're not evil when they are. This is a terrible, horrible thing to do, made even worse by the fact that he won't just own up to it and instead continues to blame God for it, and then still tries to sew in that like little bit of hope that, hey, maybe there'll be a miracle because God's on our side and helping us out. When that's not going to be the case, this was from the very get-go, it appears, a scam. So yeah, a pretty ridiculous...
Okay, give us 1 second, everyone. So yeah, it is disappointing. I think he mentioned a couple things. Probably a lot of people were definitely on the older side, people who don't understand this, because a lot of younger people we've told stories of crypto scams and stuff like that. A lot of people don't fall on it. On top of that, the economy, we've sadly like truthfully joked about how bad it is, and you know, trying to make something plausible is, you know, you want something out there, and if you have that religious belief, you just want to. And a lot of people do put their trust in like people like priests, fathers, or whatever they're called, ministers, because they're supposed to be like these higher people, even though we've talked so many stories about how horrible these people are. Like, you would think if you listen to this show, the people up there are garbage people. Like,
yep, very much trash.
So
why would you listen to trash? Because you are trash.
So I feel for I'm not gonna say I feel for all the victims. Some of them are fucking stupid. It's the people that don't understand, who were desperate. It's the ones that are blindly just believing and hoping. Because yeah, my hope for him and his wife is they just end up going to jail for a very long time. Definitely, it's a lot of money. So, they're going to be going away for a good chunk.
Yeah. Now, if their marriage will survive it, that's the question. Not happening.
We'll see. But they might have to sell it too for legal fees and stuff like that. Actually, no. Now the people will provide their legal fees.
It will happen. Watch.
It will happen. That's
people who still freaking believe that the God had intended good intentions. Right.
Yeah, that's the sad part. They're gonna still get support.
You just need enough charisma and charm to charm these people's eyes off. I told the truth.
So we'll see. We'll see how this are. Any final thoughts about this?
No. I feel sorry for the people who got really bonkered into this shit. But I don't feel sorry for the people who thought this was way of doing things.
All right, that's yeah, I know. Wild stories this week. So let us know any what you guys found interesting throughout the what story you found most interesting down in the comments. If you're on YouTube or Spotify, you can leave a comment down below. If you're on any other social media platform, you can let us know by tweeting at us or Instagram on the post of the episode. Or if you're on Facebook, there should be a comment on the Facebook link. You can just let us know down below. But yeah, any final thoughts for this week, Liz?
What a crazy ride. Hopefully it mellows out. We're almost into February. We can coast this out.
All right, everyone. Thanks again for listening or watching. Until next time. See ya.
Bye.